I'm James Kirk,
I'm Michi Hoyer,
and you're watching simnews.tv.
Hi guys, Scrutineer here for simnews.tv and you're watching WCSLeague $1,000 Knockout. So what's it all about? Well, there's $1,000 and there's 30 drivers of some of the best Rfactor 2 drivers on this planet, all battling out for $1,000. We've got 6 rounds, 3 races each round, 10 laps each time, really exciting racing. But that is not the end of it. We are calling a knockout here, so that literally means you are driving around and you are knocked out if you're not fast enough. So from laps 3 through to 8, if you are in the slowest few on that particular lap, you will be eliminated. Doesn't matter what position you're in, you are gone. We battle it out with the final 4 for the first 2 laps, and they battle out for the win. First 2 laps, no one's eliminated. It's just a normal start race, get some positions, get some battling going, and then settle in for some knockouts from lap 3 onwards. Race 3 as well, we have a reverse grid. The top 10 are reversed, so that could be really, really exciting in race 3. Some people battling through. Do you risk it, do you not? One error here, guys, and you will be out, because you will be in the slowest few times and you won't make that final 4 and that chance to win the race and the money. Make sure you're watching. Really exciting concept. I hope you agree. Enjoy the broadcast.
Sound resumed.
Hello and welcome to round 3 of the WCSLeague $1,000 knockout. This week coming to you from Sepang. My name is Mike Bell and joining me today is Tom Parker.
Hello everyone, yep, it's a bit of a smaller field, but it should be fun nonetheless.
Indeed, as we're into the final stages of warm-up. Unfortunately, I had to miss qualification due to a couple of technical issues, but we're live with you now. The pole position went to Jurne Simoncic, and so that would be the bonus point going to him. Let's try and hop on board with someone as they're starting a lap. Simoncic actually is just coming up to start a lap, so why don't we stay on board with him, as we've got enough time to go around most of the circuit before we move to qualifying. As Simincic rounds the final turn, the hairpin underneath the big grandstand, and down the Kuala Lumpur Straight. And in fact, Simincic moves over to practice a start, so let's try and jump on with somebody else. Let's go on board with Kirill Birikov, who is a man who is always looking racy, as he's just come through the Gentling curve, and now into Clear curve, if I'm getting that right. And then down the straight towards probably one of the most tricky corners on the track, the nice uphill hairpin of Buryat Tioman corner. Quite easy to lose the rear end on the throttle up there. And then around Kenya Lake corner is one that seems to go on forever, like a lot of the turns in this third sector. And down he goes through the quick left right and then into Sunway Lagoon corner, the second of the turns that seems to last forever. And then down the Penang Straight and towards the final corner, as we're going to be moving through to the race in a moment. Tom, what are you expecting from this field of 10 drivers?
I think we'll see a bit closer racing. I think it'll be I think it'll be a bit more bunched up today. I don't think you'll see as many people dropping back, doing the Dennis Jordan effect, as it were. Someone who isn't here today, funnily enough. I think we'll see a little bit closer, maybe one or two people dropping back, but I think you can see a bit more tighter, closer racing today. And I think it'll be fun. Hopefully they can have a bit of fun. Obviously lap 7 will be the first time we see a car eliminated, so they've got plenty of time to get used to what they need to do. So it could be a slow first 6 laps, but then after that I'm expecting some fast and frantic racing.
Indeed, as the Rfactor man says his piece, as alluded, this is a slightly smaller grid than we have been used to, and as a result, the sign-ups are now going to be reopened. Priority given to those who attempted to pre-qualify, and in the order that they finished in pre-qualifying. But if you are new to this, go ahead and inquire and see what it is. Maybe we can see you out on the grid next time. And even though this is a small grid, I don't think anybody can deny that this is one of the, certainly for talent purposes, this is one of the strongest grids you can find, you know. These are front runners from all across the realms of Rfactor 2 sim racing. As you can see them now taken to the grid. Got 15 seconds left before the lights start to come on, so last minute adjustment to the fuel load and things like that. Of course, mostly fixed setup for this series, and everybody is on the grid. So, to run it down, it's going to be Simincic from Masculi, Kazdorp, Zapala, Galanamatis, Pinches, Shepard, Birikov, Mlynek, and Queekle as the lights are about to go out. And away they go with a good start from Simincic. Kazdorp's bogged down and is going to lose a few track positions on the way down towards turn 1. And Birikov, you can see there, holding all the way back, does the Russian.
Yeah, he is, and yeah, like I said, I could see one of them. Simincic did go a bit deep into turn 1. Masculi was having a sniff, but he decided against it in the end. But nice and clean for the first 2 turns, which is nice to see. Birikov is not dropping too far back. Oh yeah, there we are now. He's just started to drop back quite a bit, but the top 9 all relatively close, as we've got Galanamatis and Zapala into turn, well, technically turn 4 actually, isn't it, here around. Having a bit of a duff for third, but Zapala takes that one. Oh, it's Kazdorp has a bit of a look. It's very, very long left-right here, isn't it? It's right, real tight in Malaysia, so that's going to be something that the drivers have to be quite careful of in these 6 laps, so that they don't take the tyres out too much for lap 7.
Indeed, nor pick up some damage, as we're seeing on track. Battling for 6th as Adam Pinches. Oh, that's on the exit of Clear curve. He was good wheel-to-wheel with Queekle, and Pinches saves the slide, and as a result, I don't believe has picked up any damage, although now he's wheel-to-wheel with Chris Shepard, and these two very much, if this was a touring car, this would be a fight I'd love to watch all day. But that's Galanamatis off in the gravel trap, and not sure how he got there, but Galanamatis back down to 9th on track. Yeah, of course. With this slightly depleted grid, we're not going to be seeing any eliminations until lap 7, so these drivers have a bit of time, you know, just to find their nice area of track, see what they're going to do. Are they going to push for the win, or should they just try and get some clear air and go for the lasting till the end approach? Of course, we have seen that, particularly in race 2s, not work out for the lead drivers. They always seem to get eliminated around lap 7 or 8, and then some of the more people who have looked for track space have made up the final 4.
Yeah, so that'd be interesting if we do see that today. But it seems to be two distinct groups. Well, three really. Symmetry's on his own out, 1.5 seconds in the lead. Then you got Masculi, Zapala, Kazdorp, and Queekle all together. And then you've got this second little group: Pinches, Shepherd, Linek, and Gadaminatis all sort of together as well. So you've got like 4-man groups, as it were, going around at the moment. And then you've got the leader and the Mr. Mirkov in last, sort of on their own at the moment, trying to run a bit of space. I think so. If what I would do personally is maybe go for the first 5 laps, keep it nice and easy, and maybe lap 6 push a bit harder, so that when you get onto lap 7, you know your braking zones for when you're going into a hot lap, as it were. So it's just a bit easier to get your bearings, get your ideas of what you're going to do on lap 7, just so you don't end up making a mistake or going too slow, and yeah, getting eliminated early on, which none of us wants.
So we saw drivers starting to get caught out by that at Zandvoort 2 weeks ago. Of course, we had a break week last week, but in Zandvoort 2 weeks ago, some of the drivers seemed to be a bit confused as to when the first round of eliminations would come, and I think in all 3 races, at least one of the eliminated drivers got caught out by it because they, hadn't sped up in time. Of course, none of these guys will have to worry about that, certainly until a little bit of a way, as Simoncic starts lap 3 with the 39.7. So if this were hypothetically an elimination lap, as the final few are going to cross the line now, as Birakov comes around to complete it. So hypothetically, if this were an elimination lap, it would be Gallimatis, Shepherd, Linek, and Birakov in trouble, but of course not. So they're all good for the time being, and certainly Birakov, we've seen him before. He's always been pushing all out to go for the win. I think he had a spin in qualifying on his flying lap, of course, super pole qualifying, and he just seems to be taking it easy and thinking, okay, you know what, let's just last until the end in this race, because we've seen him before go out in the later stages of eliminations, just pushing from the lead, haven't we, Tom?
Yeah, I was going to say that exactly the same thing. He has been caught out quite a lot actually. Oh, as he's actually sliding through the S's there. He has been caught out quite heavily actually, hasn't he? He's been leading races. I know at Silverstone, I think race two or three, he was leading along with Matt Williams, and then they both got eliminated because they were just pushed a little bit too hard too soon, and yeah, they were out. I think it might have been actually lap 8, like you said, so the last round of eliminations, and it obviously will affect you in the final standings. Obviously, you get the prize money for each round as well as overall. So that'll probably be coming back to haunt him, and I think he's probably thought they'll play a long game, see how it works out in this race, and maybe from race 2 onwards he can start to push.
Indeed, obviously the grid for race 2, the starting order decided by the finishing order of this race 1, and this race 1 was decided by Super Pole qualifying, which means 1 out lap, 1 flying lap, 1 in lap. One person who that appeared to have caught out was actually Jeroen Queekle, who drove past the pit entry for a second flying lap and actually managed to get himself disqualified from the qualifying session. So he had to start 10th and last, and now here he is on track making a move on Germano Zappola for 3rd place. Now, is he going too hard too soon, Tom, or is he thinking, screw this, I'm going for the race win?
Yeah, I think he's got a bit of a point to prove, hasn't he? I think he made a boo-boo, and he wants to make up for it in qualifying. He's doing a damn good job of making up for it, though. 3rd place. I think his qualifying time originally was actually good enough for 3rd, so he's got the pace on him. So it's interesting to see. Actually, no, he was 2nd. Actually, yeah, 6 tenths off the pole man. So he has got the pace. It's just like I said, you don't want to, especially around here where it's such a tyre-dependent track, you don't want to be taking out your tyres too much because it will really bite you in the bum, especially in Sector 1. Which is obviously a lot of high speed corners, and Sector 3 as well. It's just, oof. So I mean, I'm not a big fan of the track personally, but it is one that is very rewarding when you do get it right. So let's see what the best of the best in Rfactor 2 can do. He really is zooming up quicker. Really is zooming up back up to 2nd place now. He's just right behind Masculine. Obviously, the long straights here are going to be dependent as well. Could we see someone knocked out because they haven't got slipstream, for example? So that could be interesting to see how they're going to play this. Still got 3 laps to go before we have to have any eliminations. But yeah, maybe some strategy trying to sneak into some people's minds.
Yeah, indeed, this is someone who's going to be eliminated via lack of slipstream. It's definitely a good candidate for it to happen here. As you can see, Zapala really easing off now. One other thing to note, there is a bonus point for the fastest lap over the course of all 3 of these races. At present, Jeroen Queekle has it by 15 thousandths from Kirill Birakov. So they're both going for it. Queekle actually right behind Masculi actually loses the rear end there, look. So Queekle maybe just sliding around a little bit too much.
Yeah,
I know we'll have to see
you
if
don't
that
want to
bites
lose.
him.
Yeah, you don't want to lose your rear tyres around it. Look at that, he just dived up the inside. I think Masculi was rather not. Sorry, Masculi was like, I'm not having this. So just want to take it easy, let him go, let him do his tyres in, and there we go. Because I think it's quite close on pace. You don't want to push your tyres too hard because I mean maybe you could go away with it if there's a bigger grid. Because it's such a tight field, it could be a risk. It's a very big risk Queekle's taken. Works a fastest lap overall at the moment. Could come to give him a point at the end of the round. So who knows? It may work out. He's catching Simichich quite quickly. Simichich's fastest lap is 39.7, so a couple of attempts. But Simichich obviously taking it easy at the moment.
So last 2 laps by Queekle's been the fastest, and I think he's might be a little bit miffed. You know, he wasn't best of pleased that he found himself disqualified from qualifying. So you know, maybe goes in a bit seeing red and just charging for it. Might pay off for him, but we'll have to see where he is in a few laps. But as it stands, Simichich leads on the road from Queekle, then Masculin Zapala, the pair of Pescara liveries drivers. Then Adam Pinch is in 5th ahead of Chris Shepard in the beautiful whale livery. Kostas Gallimatis recovering from his off-road stint in 7th. Mlynek taking it easy in 8th. And then Kirill Birakov making the pass on Yuri Kazdorp, who dropped back. Now, I would assume, yeah, based on Yuri's... What is he doing? He's actually pulled to a stop. So could this be Yuri Kazdorp out of the race or with a technical problem? Not sure. Either way, he's rectified it. Back going again. Kazdorp with now some space. Hopefully everything's all okay in shipshape, but he is now on the move.
As is Queekle, he's just taken 7 attempts out of his best lap. 38.7 now from your own Queekle, so he's a full second faster in terms of best lap on some tutors. Now started to push actually. He's 4 attempts up on his own lap already through this race, but so is Queekle. So Queekle is pushing very, very hard, very, very quickly. So could this come to hurt him potentially? We'll find out in a lap and a half's time as we get to the end of lap 7. On lap 6 at the moment, so 1.5 laps left. I think now might be a good time to try and do maybe a lap of the circuit. I think especially with Queekle pushing so hard, you might have to see if that would be a good idea. Maybe.
So you're reckoning on board with Queekle then? Alright, we're going to pick him up as, where is he? That's Sunway Lagoon Corner, which is the second to last turn, one that feels like goes on forever. Not too many corner names listed on the track map I've got here, but on the run down towards the final hairpin, under the nice grandstand, it's actually one of the more fun corners to try and overtake here, because there's so many different lines. As you can see, he's certainly closing up to Yerny Simichich in the lead, but now across the line to start a lap. And is this... Nope, this is 1 lap before elimination, so we're all good this lap. Down in towards turn 1, which is Pancor Laut Chicane, which is the first part feels like it goes on forever. It more than doubles back on itself, and then it doubles back on itself again straight off the bat down the hill, so an absolute killer for tyres. Around the long flat at turn 3 and on the straight up towards Lang Kwai curve. Nice uphill braking zone here, meaning you can leave your braking quite late. Up to the top of the hill, big right-hander. Gotta be careful on that exit curb, very easy to spin up. And now through Gentling curve, which is a very long left, followed by a very long right, which I think is actually Gentling curve. Down the straight and then into the double right that is Clear curve, which very easy to make a mistake there and run wide as Queekle almost did, using all of the exit curb. On the run down the hill to Berya Tioman corner, which is this uphill hairpin, very easy to lose the back end on power there. And around the long Kenya Lake corner that goes on forever and then suddenly tightens up abruptly. Down the final straight into where we picked up Queekle the lap before as Yuri Kazdorp is out. Not sure what that's how come that is, but Yuri Kazdorp out of the race. So just to do a little bit of housekeeping, so he will be the first elimination. And that means there will be only 1 driver eliminated on this next time by, Tom.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
Mlynek's
no,
out.
no, it won't be. Mlynek's out. So suspension. So that'd be everyone's managed to get away with it this time by your Kazdorp. I'm still having a look. Oh, he just pulled off, and I think he might have had a couple of issues because he stopped at the final call, didn't he, last lap? So might have had a couple of issues. But I think this would have been the first elimination lap. Now we're on lap 8, so 4 gone 4 would go this time by, I believe, if I'm doing it right. Yeah, we've had 7 laps, so now would have been an elimination, but Kamalek's gone. So now we've got this lap to do, lap 8, and 4 more people will be gone.
Indeed, so now we see it's one round of eliminations. It's 50-50. Who's going to make it through, who won't. And based on that last lap, the people to watch are Gallimatis, Shepard, Zapala, and Pinches. They're the ones that need to pick up their pace. Masculi on the bubble. Birakov 7/10 clear of Masculi, so either the front guys have not seen that Malinek and Kasdorp have had issues, or they've just started pushing anyway. But we'll have to see. Pinches on a 40.0, not a particularly quick lap last time out. So he might be thinking, okay, these drivers are out. I got another lap of tyre saving I can do.
I think this is the lap. This lap they all go out. So they're on lap 8 now. Obviously, there's 2 laps to go. 9-10 they get for a win. So this is lap 8. So 4 people go at the end of this lap, and you can tell because Pinches is really pushing now. He's 6 tenths up on his best time, so he's obviously having to push quite hard.
And he's got a nice toe. Look at that. Oh, that's not nice. Oh, Adam, he snapped and he held it.
Yeah, I think he's seen that. He's lost a lot. He's lost all that time again.
Uh-oh. Simoncic crosses the line. 38-0. That's to set the bar.
Oh, Quico.
Quico. 44-5. Oh, he's lost a lot of time. Lost 6 seconds. Masculi 39-0. Zapala 39-3. Quico is out. It's Pinches 140 again. He's out. Shepard in. Gallimatis out. 39-5 and Zapala in. So your disqualifications are your own Quico, Adam Pinches, Costas Gallimatis and Chris Shepard.
So Quico's the biggest shock, I think, out of all of those. He'll be finishing 8th, obviously due to having the slowest fastest lap. So that's a huge. Wonder if that's just wonder if he's made a mistake or if it's just an error. Let's have a quick look. See if I can have a look in the replay. That must have been quite a big error for him to lose that much time.
Well, regardless, it's left Yerny Simoncic now 10 seconds to the good ahead of the Pescara drivers of Aros Masculi and Germano Zapala, which are quite close together. And Birakov does indeed make it to the end after being the man to take it cautiously off the start. So, here we go. Yerny Simoncic round the second to last corner of the second to last lap. He's going to come up the straight and in towards the final hairpin. And he's
going back to sorry, just to interrupt, just to go back to Quico. The second to last corner, he went wide and slid into the gravel, so that'll be why he was eliminated.
Such an easy mistake to make. That I'm sure both you and me, Tom, we raced this track earlier in the year, and I'm sure we've seen plenty of people go off there. I know I certainly have even taken a trip off into that gravel. Not a difficult thing to end up doing, and it even happens to the best quite clearly, as it's caught your own Quico out here. But now Simoncic on to the final lap. Masculi also, and Zapala not looking like, or Masculi pulling away from Zapala in second and third, so it looks like the order is fairly set in stone. Although this track can catch people out. So all it now takes is Yerny Simoncic to keep a cool head for sector 2 and 3, and he could be walking away as the first race winner here.
Yep, just like 11.5 seconds. Nice and easy. 5 seconds back for Masculi. Zapala's got 11 seconds back. Oh no, wait a minute, what's going on? I pressed the wrong button, that's why we're here. Birakov, yeah, he's got 5 seconds back. Birakov's actually might be going for fastest lap overall, actually. He's only a half a tenth down on his best time, 38.2, which he set last lap, and the fastest lap of the race, 38.0. So, could potentially go for fastest lap here. We'll see as he goes into the last couple of sectors now, but Mr. Simoncic is about to go on to the second to last straight.
Indeed he is, just through. Now this is the corner where Quico went off, and Simoncic holds it in tight. Just has to drive at 99%, no need to go for the final little bit at the moment. He's got a 10-second gap on the run down now to the final corner. Is Yerny Simoncic around to win the 7th round, or 7th race of the WCS $1,000 knockout. Across the line he goes. There's the checkered flag waving. Simoncic hugs it to the pit wall, crosses the line to take the victory. Eros Masculi now coming out of the final turn with Germano Zapala in the final corner. They're going to go second for Masculi. Zapala on the run down. He's going to finish third. Although Birakov made some big gains on everybody on that last lap. But Birakov crosses the line in 4th place. He's going to round out our finishers with Shepard, Gallimatis, Pinches, Queekle, Mleinek and Kazdorp being the order of the rest of the top 10.
So good stuff, nice top 4. Obviously Mleinek having a bit of an issue, which is a bit of a shame. And Kazdorp, I think he must have had a couple of technical issues because it's just so weird, he stopped twice on track, so very, very odd. But we'll see, it's 2 more races to go, and we can see what will happen in these last 2 races.
Indeed, as going to knock the session back into the warm-up, hopefully gather the drivers back up again, and we will be coming to you with race 2 momentarily.
Sound resumed.
And we're back for the WCS $1,000 knockout. We just had race 1 come and go. Race 2 is on the horizon, Tom. And yeah, it was pretty interesting state of affairs there in race 1.
Yeah, it looked like Queekle could potentially go for the overall win, but unfortunately he pushed just that teensy little bit too hard that we were worried about, and made a mistake in the second last corner, which I think he would have been through quite comfortably. Could have been putting Simjuj under some pressure, but unfortunately these things happen, and he ended up being overall. So it just shows that you can't end up taking too much life out of the tyre, especially around a track like this, otherwise you will be bitten on the bum quite badly.
Indeed you will. Just got to try and fix that real quick. So Tom, if you wouldn't mind covering for just a sec.
No, I'll give it a go. So yeah, obviously we've only got so there's some people in the server at the moment, just waiting a couple of minutes for everyone to rejoin. Everyone's feeling to get their sentences back into race 2. Race 2 grid, obviously the results from race 1, so you have Simčić on pole from Masculi, Zapala and Birkov. That'll be your top 4. You just see Birkov this time actually starting a lot higher up the grid this time, 4th place, so interesting to see what he can do, see if he will be going to the win instead of just taking it a little bit easy. His pace was pretty good. His fastest lap was 38.2 compared to the fastest lap of the race, which was 38.0 from Mr. Simčić himself. Obviously, Quico was on 38.2 before his spin put him out of contention. So those three could be quite interesting to see. Quico's going to do it the hard way again from the back of the grid. So obviously, less people are overtaking at the moment, so he might find it a bit easier. Gavin Artist as well. He'll watch out for this time around. Bit of a slow start, but hopefully he'll be able to move into it in this second race. This is like grid seems to be sorted, Mike.
Indeed, grid has been sorted, and we're going to be moving into race 2. Unfortunately, seems to be some issues for some of the drivers, but we are going to be going for race 2 soon. And as a result of those issues, we're going to be having 3 eliminations at the conclusion of lap 8, and then we will be having the final 4 shootout for the finish. As we are going to be going to the race in about 20 odd seconds. So Yuri Kazdok reporting some issues with his Rfactor 2 install, so I'm assuming we're not going to be seeing him for the rest of the day, which is very unfortunate. Never glad to see someone go out on a technical side.
Yeah, it's a big shame. You can tell something from them is it's not like someone's stopping the final corner like that, so big shame. Hopefully he'll be back for the next round.
Indeed, and speaking of that next round, it is in 1 week from today, and if you are interested in getting onto this grid, go ahead and sign up over at WCSLeague.co.uk. Moving to the race now, slightly depleted field, but we're going to have Simčić leading up from Masculi, Zapala, Birkov, Shepherd, Galanamatis and Quico. So the drivers there in the order of their elimination or slash finish. Also, while we've got a moment, there is going to be another series coming up from WCS League over on Race Room Racing Experience using the WTCR cars. So that's going to be an absolute blast. More details on that is also at WCSLeague.co.uk. So head on over and sign up if you are interested in a bit of tin top action. As for now, the race is going to be going green in 25 seconds. Tom, who's your pick?
Birkov. I'm going to go Birkov this one. I think now that he's a bit higher up the grid, less people to overtake, I think he's going to push it a little bit harder, and I think he'll go for the overall win this time round. It's definitely to improve on his 4th. I think we'll see him pressuring Simčić for the win.
Well, here we go. 3 seconds. Zapala still in the pit lane, leaving it very late, but he's made it to the grid. Lights coming on now. 4 lights on. And away they go. Simčić off the line. Good start, pulling away from both Masculi and Zapala. Everybody else has quite an even start. And here we go, look. Quico, oh, contact on the way down to turn 1. That's not what you want to see. Galanamatis, I think, jinked and collected Chris Shepherd. Shepherd with a big spin, and that's going to do Shepherd no favors. Galanamatis waiting up for him, but that's not good news for Shepherd. A spin will obviously overheat these tires, flat spot them even maybe, and you know, whatever happens is definitely taking life out of them, Tom.
Absolutely, and at least he's got to the space now, so there's something there. But I told you about the top 3, Quico, Birkov and Simčić. That's who top 3 are already. Quico already into 2nd place.
Quico in 3rd on my timing screen. Masculi still
there.
there.
Mine's Masculi must have glitched out for me. No, yeah, he's back. But yeah, he's already up from 7th to 3rd. So Quico definitely making a move. Birkov a bit more taking a little bit easier, but yeah, in 4th place, so he's still there or thereabouts.
Yeah, of course, the Quico still looking like he's pushing hard. Came from the back, already up to 3rd in transition. Simčić still leading from the front from Masculi, then Quico, Birkov, Zapala, and then Shepherd and Galanamatis recovering. So Zapala is the one that's dropped a little bit, and Quico heading forward at an absolute rate of knots. He's now on the back of Masculi as they come into the final turn.
Yeah,
I
no
think
DRS. DRS doesn't affect. They have the option to use it, but it doesn't actually have an effect, so that won't be helping. But obviously, Slipstream. Maybe we'll see it in this round, this race. Sorry, hopefully we'll see it. Maybe a bit of an effect.
Yeah, indeed, as Slipstream affects Zapala, Birakov, and also Queekle passing Masculi there with a bit of Slipstream into turn 1. I was about to make the point that if Queekle's driving this way, there's going to be no sense in Masculi trying to stay ahead. Like, Masculi's just got to run his own race, let Queekle go ahead and maybe bother Simoncic, hold them both up.
Yeah, I mean that's what he did last time. Masculine just let him by. I think he's realised that again this time. So there's just no point fighting it, especially this early in the race when there's a risk of damage, and you don't want that. You can't pit, obviously. So if you do get a front wing broken or whatever, you can't pit, as it's an instant disqualification. So yep, just want to take it easy, nice and clean, nice and tidy until you get to lap 8, where you can start to push.
Indeed, and speaking of pushing, Shepard back up onto the back proper of Zapala. And there's forming a bit of a queue behind Birakov. It's like he's the pace setter right now for everybody that isn't Queekle, Simoncic, or Masculi. So,
Yeah, makes a difference. Like I said, it's a nice change of pace we've seen from Birakov. Obviously, the first couple of rounds he was really pushing, wasn't he? Really pushing, and obviously it caught him out. And now he's seems to have matured a bit in that sense, and he's realised maybe it's just to go for the long game rather than the quick game. So we'll see what happens in his next few laps, but. Yeah, I mean, he's just ahead, far enough ahead that it ain't going to bother him, but he's got enough of a gap in front of him to make it work for when he does need to push.
well, speaking of pushing, Queekle, he was 1 second back at the third sector line. He's not 1 second back anymore. He's only half a second behind Simoncic as they cross the line. Queekle 38-2 already. So he's pushing hard straight out of the gate. Compare that to Masculi, Birakov, Zapala. They're all doing 41s. So Queekle, he's not hanging about. He's gone full on from the start.
So, I mean, I think Quiggle's got the pace to be in the top 4 anyway. I think he's quick enough to be in that top 4. So I think what he's thinking is if I can get ahead of Simoncic now, and I'm in the lead in these last couple of laps, I'm in the best position to win this race. So I'd imagine that's the logic behind what he's doing at the moment. He's taking a much better line into these S's. So having a look. So we'll see what's going on.
Indeed, Queekle already a race winner in the WCSLeague $1,000 knockout in race 3 at Zandvoort. Queekle took the win, and the race 1 win from Jurne Simoncic was actually his 3rd of the season, and combine that with his 3 second places to this point is actually between Birakov and Simoncic. The title race as it stands heading into this round, they were only separated by 1 point. They were actually deadlocked, in fact. They were separated by 1 point before the pole position and fastest lap points were factored in, and then when the pole position and fastest lap points were factored in from round 2, it put them dead even on 102. Of course, now there's going to be 6 points between them because the 1st to 4th position gap, but Simoncic leading away still, and Birakov still down in 4th. So maybe Birakov thinking less go for everything and more let's just get to the end at the moment.
Yeah, and if Simoncic and Queekle do start battling, that's going to be a risk for those two on lap 8, because obviously there's only 3 eliminations, and these could be 2 of them if they do start battling away. So it's going to be a weird tactical one here. We're only on lap 4, so we've still got a bit of time. So still got a bit of time to figure out what they're doing, but Queekle's getting inching ever closer to Simoncic. So we've got quite a big gap behind him, actually. So quite a big gap, 3.8 seconds back to Mascula, who himself has got another 3.8 second gap to Birakov. So definitely nice and stretched out for these guys.
Masculi's actually in a pretty sweet spot if it does, if Queekle and Simoncic do go wheel to wheel, because he's just sat there with a near 3.5 second advantage over Birakov, just doing his own thing. I'm sure Masculi's got a bit of pace in the tank because we've lost Chris Shepard, unfortunately. So that's the first elimination then. So there's only going to be 2 dropping out on lap number 8.
Big shame. Chris obviously just started line incident, so wasn't in the best place anyway. But obviously still got one more race, and who knows, he might be able to do something from there. Obviously reverse grid, so could be a potential win there.
Indeed, he will be coming from pole position. course, there's less than 10, so it's going to be a full grid invert. Meanwhile, Zapala seems to have had a little bit of a kick on in the last couple of corners as Birkov runs a little bit wide there. Zapala actually looking like he could be gearing up for an overtake at this point.
Yeah, definitely looking like it. Is he going to dive down the inside? He has a lurk, but it's very half-hearted, and he decides to stay back, as did Queekle on that lap as well. I think he's got the pace to do it, to actually overtake Symmetry. I think he's biding his time and just trying to get to lap 8, get that dad away, and then he'll really start to pressure Symmetry then.
Indeed, as Birkov lets Zapala and Gallimatis go by, so he's just choosing to not fight these positions at the moment and just try and get himself a bit of a gap. Still some time to build said gap, but Birkov, he's going to be hard pressed to take the victory in this one, I reckon, at this point.
Yeah, I think Victory might be out of reach of this one, but who knows? Race 3, obviously, like it's a reverse grid to who we're starting ahead, so I think there'll be a definite better chance from that race onwards.
Indeed, there will be, but I don't know. Actually, if he does get through, and if Queekle and Simichich potentially go wheel to wheel at the wrong point, and they both get knocked out, then I'm not sure if Birkov is the favourite to win race 3 anymore, because then we'd have Simichich and Queekle starting 2nd and 3rd. So that'll be pretty interesting to see how that would boil down.
Yeah, very true. I'd be surprised if they are, unless Quickle's taking too much out of his tyres again. Still got 3 laps to go before we see the drivers eliminated, so I don't think they're still pushing. They have slowed down quite a lot, Quickle and Symmetry. Symmetry's just still doing 39.5s. I mean, Quickle's doing 39.6, but obviously Symmetry's best lap is at 39.4, and Quickle's is at 38.2, so a big difference in fastest lap. I think Quickle just wants to be there, just in case, so when it does come to push and shove, he can actually get onto it. But obviously, he's still got a few laps left. He's still thinking about what he needs to do. Quite a long lap, this one, so plenty of time to think about what you need to do. Masculi's still in the world of his own, loving life, so he's looking pretty handy at the moment. Zapala and Gallimatis, their back be quite interesting. They're battling, or close together on track. Only 4 attempts at the moment between those two, so these two little mini groups could be quite interesting. We have to keep an eye on that when we get to lap 8.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Gallimatis, I think he's kicking at the right sort of time. You know, he's got. Oh, never mind. He gets a big slide, but well held. I was going to say he's kicking at about the right time so that he's going to be back in his groove come the elimination rounds, but evidently getting a bit over-eager on the throttle, but managing to do a good job to save it. And then he's just going to resort to sitting behind Zapala for the moment, although, just as you say, these 2 mini-groups, as you call them, Tom, if one of them, like let's say Gallimatis put a pass on Zapala on lap 8, that's going to be Zapala eliminated almost for sure. And that'd be really interesting to see how well, if Gallimatis would actually go for it. Although Gallimatis, the way he's driving right now, potentially could be looking for a move into this next turn.
Yeah, it looks like he's going for it. He goes to the outside. Zapala defending the inside. Like I said, lots of places to overtake on this corner itself. Very wide. Lots of different lines you can take. Oh, look at that. Tokyo Drift going through there. Zapala now behind Mr. Gallimatis and into 4th place, but it is still close. Maybe he can have a look into turn 1. Zapala still side by side. He does back into the thing, and I think he's just going to ease out of this one and let Gallimatis take 4th place for himself.
That's like a tandem drift, but again, not good for either of their tyres, and you'd expect Gallimatis to be nursing some slight suspension, possibly even some slight steering damage from that wheel-to-wheel with Shepard on the way down to turn 1. So could that be maybe making the rear end of his car a bit light, a bit scary, but if it is, then potentially he could be a little bit unsettled, and that won't be good come elimination time.
No, which is only a lap and a half away, so they've got this lap to get geared up, as it were, and then from next lap onwards, they're going to be going for that all-important lap time. Masculi's starting to get into the groove. He's about 8 tenths up on his own time at the moment, only a 40.3 so far, so still easing his way into it. He's starting to ease it way into it. He's starting to get a bit quicker and quicker and quicker. What we're doing, same for Simichich, he's started to go quite a bit quicker. Queekle's interestingly keeping with him, so which is important for Queekle if he wants to try and win this race overall. And what's going on with Gallimatis now is pulled quite clear. Zapala's actually decided to cut that battle off and just going to go for some space, and Berkov obviously on his own as well. So the closest two people on track are actually the two leaders.
Indeed, and one of them, Yerny Simoncic, presently holding the fastest lap of the event on a 38.0. Queekle on a 38.2 potentially could be looking to try and usurp that. But right now, here we go. This is crunch time now. This is the lap that matters. No, it's not. This is the lap before the lap that matters. My
No,
mistake.
it's lap that matters. Lap that matters. Lap 8. We're on lap 8.
Oh, yes, true. You're right. This is the lap that matters, as Kirill Burakov is going to be the last man to start the first elimination lap. So, here we go. Will Queekle make the same mistake he did last time? Will anybody else just pull an absolute worldie out of the hat? You know, this track can and will catch people out. You've already seen it happen once. Will we see it again? Although for the time being...
Masculi's flying. God blimey, he's 1.3 seconds up already on his own time. He's only in the S's. Mr. Masculi's pushing quite hard. Queekle's up on his own time. Wow, Simchic just half a second up on his own time as well.
Birakov's the fastest through the first sector as well. 25 threes from Simoncic, Masculi, and Birakov, and a 25.4 from Queekle are currently the 5 fastest. So Galnamatis and Zapala are the 2 drivers slowest through the first sector. So they're the guys at risk as it stands. Sector 2 times coming in, 32.4 from Simoncic, 32.4 from Queekle, 32.5 from Masculi, 33 flat from Galnamatis. He's in trouble. 32.6 from Zapala. It's not great, but it's there or thereabouts. He needs someone to make a mistake, though, I feel. Birakov smashes it out of the water again, as now Simoncic coming around to start the lap times tumbling in. Simoncic crosses the line, and 127.9, new fastest lap. Queekle, 38.4. That's decent. Here comes Masculi. He's going to cross the line.
Ooh.
And he's done a...
3,000 slower than Queekle.
That's
39.8
insane.
from Galliminatis, though. That's not great.
Yep, he's going to be on his way out, I'm sure. And Zapala, yep, knocks him out.
Oh,
Here comes
wow,
Birakov.
Birakov. Woo.
Oof, that, indeed, that is huge.
So that's... I think that might be Queekle, sorry, Masculi out. Masculi and Galliminatis. Or is it Zapala?
That's it's Zapala and
Yes,
Galliminatis. So now we have our final 4. Simoncic, Queekle, Masculi, and Birakov. And there's only there's only 15 tenths of a second in it between first and second. Although Queekle's probably going to be on the worst set of tyres right now. But we'll have to see how it goes as they're coming around. That's towards the end of Sector 2 on the penultimate lap. Simoncic leads Queekle 1.3, so he's gaining. Masculi still running solidly in third, with Birakov solid in fourth, but there is going to be a fight to watch on the run to the line. Last straight of the penultimate lap, and you can see visibly Queekle getting closer, Tom.
Very, very slowly, but he is indeed going on board. I'm going to go on board with him now to see how he approaches this last lap. Ooh, properly, you can see how hard he's pushing. He's just sliding all the way through. And he has actually lost about a tenth there to Simoncic. So, still, one more lap to go. Can Queekle get his first round race win, actually, of the entire season? See.
If he can get within about 5 tenths coming onto that back straight, the slipstream might just do the work for him. But we'll have to see. Simoncic, of course, no slouch. Queekle just taking 2 tenths a sector out of him at the moment, so it could be really quite close come the end of it. Birakov has absolutely smashed it on the elimination lap, though. He currently is holding the bonus point for fastest lap of the event. But he's down in fourth, and his championship rival, Yerny Simoncic, leading away. So there's going to be a 12-point gap on between Simoncic and Birakov as they go into race 3, if all things stand as they are.
And it's looking pretty good for Simoncic. Don't want to do the commentator's curse, but he's holding the pace quite nicely to Queekle. Still 1.1 seconds by my reckoning. So Queekle's pushing, but is he, like I said, I think he might have taken a little bit too much average, just a little bit too soon.
Potentially gap down to 9 tenths of a second now as they go into the final sector of the race. I'm not sure if Queekle's going to be close enough to benefit from a slipstream, but, you know, 9 tenths of a second, a good slipstream and a good late braking maneuver potentially could do the job as Queekle runs a much tighter line, much more aggressive line. That is definitely not 9 tenths of a second anymore. He's going to be pulled along by the slipstream. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get him on the way into the corner, but maybe on the way out if Simoncic makes a small mistake. I mean, see Simoncic running a little wide, But out of the final corner once again to win race 2 and the 8th race of the season, Yerny Simoncic across the line, 0.6 of a second to Jeroen Kweekel. Very well done from Jeroen coming from the back of the grid again. Eros Masculi is going to cross the line for his third place of the evening. And, sorry, Masculi was second last time out. My bad. Second top 3 of the evening. And Kirill Birakov now on the run down to the final corner to complete race 2 and the fourth position for him of the evening. So Kweekel once again making it through to, Birakov making it once again through to the top 4. And across the line, so the result, Simoncic from Kweekel, Masculi, Birakov, Zapala, Galnamatis and Chris Shepard. As we now have to do a little thing, and then there will be a reverse grid race 3, so a full grid invert. We'll see what surprises that throws up, Tom.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Still 7 people done. So Chris Shepard on pole. Maybe he can get a victory. Who knows? Maybe even podium. Let's see. Kweekel maybe blood after the first race, obviously in second race, second place. Can he go one better?
Well, we will have to wait and see, but for the time being, we're going to go to another quick little break while we get some things sorted, and we'll be back with you guys for race 3 of the WCS $1,000 knockout from Sepang.
Sound muted.
And we are back for the WCS League $1,000 knockout from Sepang. We just had the finish of the second race, and now we're going to be coming up to the reverse grid race 3. Of course, don't forget there are prizes on offer for today. For the highest scoring 3 drivers will be. Sorry, my mistake. The winner of the round, as in the man who scores the most points, or the driver who scores the most points, will earn themselves $1,000. As it stands currently, Simoncic with a near max score currently holds it, so it will take a bit of a disaster for him to lose out. Eros Masculi currently sat second, 6 points back, so Masculi wins. It'll take Simoncic being eliminated in order to lose the round win. So Tom, reverse grid. This will be hopefully it's going to be interesting. It's slightly depleted grid as we've lost Kastascal and Amatis in the interim, so only 6 drivers taken to the grid, but 6 of the best. So still be in for a good show.
Yeah, so it should be good. Chris Shepherd on pole, maybe he can make some work of it today. See how Simoncic can do from the back. Obviously, he's been starting from pole both races, so we'll see a different side of Simoncic now. He's going to have to actually race through the pack a little bit, see if he can still get it done. So Queekle obviously in a better position, 1 place up obviously, but he's been making some mega starts. So see if he can do it again this time round and get into the lead ASAP.
Indeed, as here we go, moving to the race session. And the drivers now will have 1 minute to take to the grid, so we are going to be lining up Shepherd, Zapala, Birakov, Masculi, Queekle and Simoncic. It's really got a bit of a race of champions-esque feel about this, doesn't it, Tom? It's a small grid, but, you know, ludicrously competitive.
KO!
Yeah, I mean, like you say, race champions, it's fun, but obviously at the end of the day, there is a big prize, and they are taking it very seriously. So, obviously these 6 taking it seriously as most. Obviously they're in it to win it. They've got to be in it to win it after all. So we'll see what they can do. Obviously, Simoncic looking really, really well placed to win this grand prize. So, still a couple of rounds to go though. So who knows what can happen in that time. So, see 15 seconds left until we get going. Simoncic from 6th place on the grid rather than 1st. What can he do? Let's see.
See, indeed. As Tom said, plenty of time to go this season. This race at the conclusion will mark the halfway point of the season. And just doing a quick bit of mental arithmetic as the lights are about to go out, so we'll sort this first. And there they go, and away and off the line. Pretty even start from just about everybody. Zapala, I think, has got off the best of starts on 2nd place. He's going to take the lead. Birakov moves big to defend. Everyone goes to the right-hand side of the track except Chris Shepherd. Shepherd's going to get hung out, and they're all in there together. They're all over. Like, every single car has an overlap on it. Simoncic gets out the worst of it. Birakov also down the back. Queekle's there in 4th. Masculi now challenging Shepherd side by side. And Zapala through into the lead, Tom.
Yes, someone's missing some bits of front wing. I think it might actually be Simoncic. Yeah, Simoncic is missing some end plates on his front. So, as Birakov gets a big old slide on. So, Simoncic could struggle here. I'm not sure if it's cosmetic. Yeah, actually, you can see he's really struggling in the S's here. So,
same with Birakov.
Simoncic with danger. Yeah.
There was a piece missing from Simoncic's front wing, piece missing from Birakov's front wing as well, just ahead of him. So I think everyone going into the corner overlapping, maybe a little bit of nudge, but hopefully not too much of an effect as we come down now. The field's staying really close together. I think everyone sees it. Okay, there's 6 of us. There's 2 of us go out, and then the rest are fighting for the race win. So this has seemed to be the most competitive start to one of these races that we've seen in a little while, as presently Zapala leading, Masculi right behind him, Shepherd in there, and then Queekle, Birakov and Simoncic rounding out the 6 on track. Less than 3 seconds separating all of them, as here we go, move for the lead. Masculi against Zapala. Masculi just going to drive around him. Shepherd's in there. Obviously, Zapala and Masculi may be flying the same team colours, maybe working together a little bit. But Shepherd, by no means on anybody's team on this one, and Queekle, we've seen his charges through the grid already. And then Simoncic and Birakov just hanging back a tad. You know, Simoncic, all he needs to do is not get eliminated and he will be taking home $100 from this event if he can make it to that final four. And Birakov thinking long game as he has all day, is still side by side Shepard and Queekle. This is a bit more intense than the previous two races, Tom.
Oh, absolutely. Could go for a dive. I think he's got higher top speed, so he's not as quick in the corner. Shepard's holding it really nicely around the outside there. I thought he was going to get him into turn one, but Shepard actually went around the outside, nearly got around the Sapala instead. So good stuff. But Queekle's taking a much better line through there, but Chris Shepard is taking much more speed. Therefore, he's managed to get away with it. So I wonder if Sapala's back in the pack up, as it were, for Masculi, obviously. I wonder if they'll know if Shimtich has got some damage. Obviously, Masculi's in the best place to potentially take the victory from Simchich today, as Chris Shepard down the inside of Tapala, and that's up into second place. Tapala under threat from Queekle.
They're all over him. Queekle just driving around the outside, it looks like. Here's Zapala. At this point, do you fight it for the track? Oh, he is clearly fighting it for the track position as they nearly bang wheels, but Zapala's run wide. Simchich is watching this all happen in front of him. Oh, a little bit, another bang wheel. Simchich is going to slide into the gravel. He's going to get out of it, and potentially that could, in a weird way, help Queekle out, because now he's got some clear air and he's not, not around anybody to trip over them.
Yeah, and his car is still at one pace by the looks of it.
There's Zapala now going wheel to wheel with Simonchich. Here comes Simonchich going to the left-hand side, to the outside of turn one, which will then turn into the inside of turn two if he can hold it there. Zapala not giving up. Oh, he goes in deep. Back underneath goes Simonchich. He used to be putting on a bit of a clinic, as it seems. Simonchich now trying to cut back again. It's not going to work. Zapala holding on to third place on the road. I think Zapala's actually... He's decided, Zapala! Oh! I think just the closing speed, he got a slight tap in the rear and then just lost the back end. Flipped the wall. Hopefully that's not too badly damaged and Zapala can keep going. The steering looks straight at least. But that is something you don't want to see. But it happens sometimes in racing. Just if closing speed is a little bit too much and someone goes somewhere you don't expect, there's something a little bit of a clip, and Zapala the one getting clipped on that occasion.
Yeah, he's missing I think he's missing a bit of an end plate, but apart from that, his car looks alright, looks straight, like you said, his steering straight, so that's something at least, thankfully. Queekle's already on the back of Simonchich though, so you can see what can happen, especially with Shepard in second place. What will Shepard be doing in this situation?
Got no idea with Shepard. If you were to go on the form book of the season so far, you'd be assuming that Shepard would be one of the lead candidates to be eliminated in this two-man elimination. He's just going to have a quick little look back over the standings. I'm not actually sure, but I believe I'm right in saying that Shepard hasn't made it to a Final Four yet this season. Indeed, he hasn't. So Shepard, his best finish so far was the 7th place in race 1 and 2. So Shepard, regardless of where he finishes, is going to be his best result. But he's now ahead of Simonchich and Queekle, who are probably the two favourites on pace. You'd see as Queekle dives to the inside of Simonchich, who sees it coming, gives him the room, and then powers around the outside. But all of this is allowing Eros Masculi to sprint off into the distance. And Masculi, at present, is second in the event standings after round 1 and 2, 6 points behind Simonchich. Of course, Simonchich has that bonus point coming in from pole position, so even a win is not going to be enough for Masculi. If Simonchich gets into that Final Four, he'll take it by 1 point, unless Masculi can wrestle the fastest lap away from Kirill Birakov. So he's going to need to go for a sub 37.6 and then hope he wins and Simonchich finishes 4th or lower.
Well, Simonchich in 4th. At the moment, Queekle overtook him, going into Sector 2. So Queekle is in the prime... Sorry, Masculi's doing what he needs to do, and he's got to hope the stars align and he can hope for that fastest lap. Obviously, he's got that damage. I'm not sure if it's just cosmetic or will it actually affect, as we said before. So, had to see. Still got a few laps before we go, though. Still got 4 laps until we have an elimination. So, still plenty of time to go. So, a lot quicker race this time. A lot quicker race. So Shepard still in second place, doing a great job at the moment, but Queekle obviously baying for blood. I think Queekle will be having a go at him going into turn 1 this time round.
Indeed, the ante definitely upped for race 3 for everybody except Kirill Birakov, who's he's sticking to his game plan. he came off one of the worst through that 6 overlap into turn 1. He's now just at the back, cruising around, waiting for the time to pick up the pace, and probably going to try and finish for another 4th. As this side by side, it's Shepard and Queekle this time. And your own Queekle going past Chris Shepard as they come on the run down towards turn 4. Oh, and here comes Simincic. Right. Tom, is this now Yerny Simincic thinking, damn the torpedoes, I'm going for the race win, and he sees that your own Queekle is the biggest threat to that, and not willing to let him get out of his sight?
I think so. You can tell he's pushing. He's just slid through the second part of the S's there. So he's definitely pushing. I mean, they're still 2.8 seconds behind Masculi, who isn't a slouch in himself, is he? So they've still got a bit of work to do to get there. And they don't want to be taking their tyres out too much. Obviously, Masculi's been taking it nice and easy. His tyres look pretty good. So he's in the best position to win this race. Obviously, first on track is where you want to be. Still 2.8 seconds, and he's still keeping it that distance. So who knows? Quickle definitely pushing quite hard, as is Simincic. So these two need to be careful before they take too much out of the tyres. Chris Shepard's drops way back, actually.
He
Way back.
made a small mistake, Tom, and he nearly went. He did well to save the understeer, but went in a little bit too hot, and as a result, Zapala threw on track. Shepard now into a gap, and I mean, I don't see him backing off from this. I see him just keeping his foot in. He's not so far back like Birakov is that if Shepard makes it to the final 4 and Birakov does, then Shepard's got a reasonably safe P3. So if he backs off, he's going to be in trouble. But he's got enough clear out to Zapala that it shouldn't affect him too badly. So we'll have to see how the man with the whale on the car fares in the elimination round.
Yep, still got 3 laps to go until they will be eliminated. So 2.5 laps to get this, get your bearings right. Masculi's starting to pick up the pace a little bit now. Queekle has only gained about half a second on him, so he's not massively catching him. Which is interesting to see. Obviously, Queekle's already done a 38.3 this race, which is a damn quick lap already. Siminci's done a 39.8, and as has Masculi. So all one big outlier there, obviously, Mr. Queekle, 1.6 seconds faster than the 1.5 seconds, sorry, faster than the others. So it's going to be interesting to see if his tyres have gone by the time we get there. So still got 2 laps to go though, so we'll see what happens as Berikov's just chilling at the back, as is Mr. Shepard. So hopefully we'll see someone different in this final 4. It'd be nice to see.
So even with such a depleted grid, still getting to the final 4 on this grid is going to be an achievement. These are certainly, as I said before, it's a race of champions-esque grid. As Chris Shepard gets another little slide on, he needs to be careful with that. Any one of these guys in any Rfactor 2 league, you'll see them running up towards the front. Chris Shepard very much a touring car guy. He's showing he can hang with these open wheelers, which is always good to see. But for the time being, Eros Masculi has lost 6/10 to both Queekle and Simincic over that final lap, or over that previous lap. So maybe the wick being turned up a fraction from Queekle and Simincic, knowing that they've possibly got about 2 seconds to gain on Masculi to even have a crack at this race win.
Yeah, but then you've got to remember Masculi's not particularly pushing, is he? So, I mean, 6/10 isn't that much. I mean, Masculi's still taking it easy. He's got the best tyres out of the 3. I really do think Masculi can probably take this win, and I think he can take it quite comfortably as well.
I'll say we'll have to see, but what would be interesting is if they keep this rate of closure on and then all 3 of them make it through, we might have a 3-way shootout for the race win, which would be pretty awesome to see. Usually we only get 1 or 2. So drivers with a mix of strategies usually get to the end, and you find someone who's pulling the name Siebold strategy of just hanging around at the back, but doing enough to get yourself to the final 4 and then finishing in that 4th place. Versus some of the guys who go all out for the race win and fall at the final hurdle. Will we see any of these leading 3 as they close up even more? Masculi to Queekle down by 3/10 on that previous sector alone.
Yeah, but now we're going to see Masculi push. We're going on to our elimination lap now. Lap 8 is about to be started. Now you can see Masculi's taking a wide line, taking the best exit possible, and here he goes onto his hot lap, as it were. And we'll see what he can do. Still in 40.6 considering, so pretty damn impressive time. So let's see what these guys can muster up in this next few kilometers.
Indeed, here they go. As Tom said, 5.6 kilometers separating these drivers from knowing their fate. The top three really have pulled away. Oh, that's not good. That's Germano Zappola. Huge slide in turn one. He is off, and that is going to be him out. So they're only going to be one driver eliminated now. That's going to put the pressure on. These lead three need to make sure they don't trip over each other, because one of them could be on their way out.
It could be. I was getting worried, thinking, oh wow, Krieger's massively down, but I remember his best time's a 38.3, not a 39.3. Masculi's higher, 6 times up on his time, 39.2 will be his bone at that moment. 36, 38, I think Sim's just going to be quite comfortable, so there's not damage affecting him too much. Oh, Shepard! Oh!
Well, that makes that easy. Chris Shepard drops it, unfortunately, and then we have the final four. No even need for the round of eliminations. 4 drivers still going, and 3 of them within 2 seconds, Tom.
Good. Let's see a proper race. This will be good. Simicic still pushing. Sorry, Masculi. Well, no, he's pushing as well. Masculi's pushing really hard still, so they won't have the knowledge that they're out just yet, I don't imagine. So still going to be pushing just in case, you never know. Looking pretty good. He's got a 1.5 second gap for 2 laps. Can he keep that? And I personally think he can. Who knows? Still got 2 laps to go as we cross the line to start lap 9.
I say unless Masculi can really buck up this pace, he's gonna be losing the $100, because even if Simoncic does find his way into a barrier or something, he's gonna have made the final 4 cut, which is gonna be enough, so long as Birakov holds the fastest lap point and not Masculi. So here they go now, on to lap number 9. And a 38.1 from Birakov, clearly showing he has the pace, but he's 17 seconds down, so it'll have to be a major comeback from him to get on the podium for this race. But speaking of the podium, they're right on top of each other. The gap 1.9 between Masculi in the lead and Simoncic in third. It's crunch time, Tom.
It is, and it's interesting to see. I'm not sure how much dirty air is playing in effect. Oh, look at that. Simoncic really is pushing. He's got in the back of that car very loose. It's quite an oversteery car anyway. He really is making that car dance.
Uh-oh. I hope that's me, but
no.
appear to have a quick
lag.
lag.
There we are.
We're back. Quick lag from the commentators there. Bit of internet weather for you, but as we come back, Masculi leads from Queekle. Simoncic still in third, so all holding station at the front. If anything, Queekle is now closer to Masculi than Simoncic is to him. Or has pulled away from Simoncic and towards Masculi, but down towards the final corner of the penultimate lap, Masculi still leads with a 1.5 second advantage over your own Queekle. Queekle's going to be, he's going to have pushed all race, he's knowing exactly what he's doing. Simoncic, I think he'll have been doing the maths and know that third place is enough for the $100. He might not even get involved in this lead battle. He's ahead of his championship rival Kirill Birakov, and now it's final lap, first turn, Masculi leading from Queekle and Simoncic, and that gap is coming down.
It is, but half a second. So, like I said, if we can get into within half a second on the final back straight, could be quite tasty. But I'll say, Queekle he isn't coming up to Masculi as much as we thought he would. So Masculi seems to have managed his tyres perfectly here.
Indeed, I'm just looking back. Eros Masculi's current personal best result of the season was that second place in round 1. He's been third twice in addition, so this could be him rounding out his collection of podium finishes if he can hold it. But 1.1 now, Queekle closing and closing. Simoncic also closing, but has the orange your own Queekle to get by first. So it's Masculi. Yeah, the ball is in his court right now. All he has to do is get through this third sector and not make a mistake. Queekle now 1 second, so the time ticks away. Queekle closing on Masculi. Simoncic closing on both of them.
Simoncic had a bit of a twitch over now. He's had another one. I think Simoncic is going to be having to rely on a mistake now. He's just pushing a little bit too hard and let the back end get away from him. 1 second back, so could be a dive. He's 7/10 away. Who knows?
So he's going to start lapping at that slipstream just at the tail end of it, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. As into the final corner, Masculi, he's made it. So does Queekle, so does Simoncic. Out the final turn, Eros Masculi is going to come across the line to win race 3 of the WCS $1,000 knockout from Sepang. Across the line, your own Queekle 0.6 of a second at the end in second place. Yerny Simincic third, 1.6 off, and your winner of the event as a whole and the recipient of $100 goes to Yerny Simincic. And across the line in fourth place again, at 3/4 in a row, Kirill Berikov makes to the end every single time. That's what you need to do to win a championship, consistent big points. So the result of race 3, Eros Masculi takes the win ahead of your own Queekle, Yerny Simincic in third, Kirill Berikov fourth, Chris Shepard's going to be fifth ahead of Germano Zapala to round out the field. As always, head over to WCSLeague.co.uk for more information to sign up for the WCS League $1,000 knockout and be in the running for your chance to win a bit of prize money. Head over there, check out the sign-ups. Also check out the sign-ups for the WTCR Race Room series that is upcoming over at WCSLeague.co.uk. And stay tuned next week at the same time as we'll be coming to you for round 4 of the WCS League $1,000 knockout. This time from Palm Beach. It's going to be a bit of an oddball track, so we will have to see how it plays out. For myself, Mike Bell, for Tom Parker, and from the man behind the cameras, Mike Pittman, we will see you next time.
Sound muted.